Okay, this is the starting settlement area. The round thing in the center is a command center platform structure based in the ocean somewhere. There's an inner ring of these 6 small platforms, and there is another circular partial ring surrounding that, which, let's see, I don't have the count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, looks like 7 platforms. Those you have to do a little bit of extra build-up work before you can use them. These are all ready to have structures put on them. Movement, I think it's WASD. I'm using just move the mouse cursor to the edge of the screen and the camera follows in that direction. Mouse wheel zooms in and out, and if you hold the right mouse button, you can swivel around and gain elevation, lower elevation, so forth. So once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. So the first thing we'll want to do is build a residential structure for our new colonist. And that menu is down here. It's a thing that looks like a bunch of blocks sitting on top of each other. We just click that. And we're looking for residential block. That's it. This is the excuse me, the menu you have to work with. There's a couple of different templates, they call them, that allow you to just build whatever you want. This one you can build one residential block which holds 50 settlers or colonists, and this one you can build 2 at a time. It's a little bit more economical, but it does cost more cash up front. So I'm just going to go with this, and the way to get that is you have to actually buy some resources from a market that they have. I'll show you the market a little bit later, but you use this tag down here. This shows you what you need. The red numbers are the ones that you're deficient in, and you just press that button and it'll automatically buy what you need. If you already have part of it, you can just hold down Alt while you press that button. It'll just buy exactly the missing parts to allow you to build that structure. So I don't have anything in inventory at this point. So now you see it's ready to go. It has changed the numbers from red to yellow, or gold, whichever. That indicates that we have the resources to build one of these 50-unit residential blocks. And so we'd come over here. Let me zoom in here on that block that I'm going to build that on here real quick. Okay, let's put it right in there. You just click and drag, and you can orient it by mouse control. Let me set that up the way I want it here. Don't worry too much if you get them in the wrong place. It's fairly simple to move these things around, and you don't really lose any resources by doing that. Just a little bit of time to take care of any people or residents of the building and the staff that's managing it. So speaking of staff, let's take a look inside the building. That's a right click on the image of the building there. As you can see, it's got a tag in this organization chart. It's called a residential block. The 100% means that it's completely functional right now, no damage or anything, nothing wrong at all. It's got these 2 magenta or violet nodes underneath of it. One of them, if you hover the mouse over it, says link to a colonist, and the ideal is a director. So it's, this building is looking for a manager director type of a person to operate it or run the building. And the other one says link to blueprint, recover organic waste. That's kind of a running joke. Basically, you're pulling out the waste that the occupants of the building generate, and you're going to recycle that a little bit later. So we need a blueprint, and we need one person right off the bat. Let's go get that blueprint. Let me adjust this. I'll keep this open a little bit. We need to see this menu on the left to get blueprints and colonists. And I think the size of this window depends on the screen that you're actually running on. Blueprints are up here in the market, the upper tab out of these three. This is, what is this? Can't read that. Quests, which has not been implemented yet. We're in beta 2.6. Supposedly quests will be ready for 3.0. We'll see about that. And this is personnel. I'll explain that a little bit later. Let's just go get the blueprint. It's pretty simple. All blueprints are under the tech label here. You can see these names highlighting as I move the mouse. So I select tech, and you have these different options. The first four, this is a buyback button. It's kind of confusing, but get used to it. So we're looking for this one right here, recover organic waste, or org waste. So you just click that. You see one of them shows up, a blueprint. There's number 1 there, that's your quantity. This is going to be how much you'll pay, 250. And let's go ahead and buy that. You don't really have much choice, you have to grow your colony. If you pull up this grid thing down here, that's the inventory of stuff that you have. You now have under your tech label a recover organization waste blueprint, and you have 48,375 SC. That's synthetic coins. That's the name of the coin in that period of time. We're not sure exactly what year this would be in. I gathered they were out for about 100 years sleeping, so maybe 22nd century, somewhere there. But anyway, what you can do to simplify things is here you have a blueprint in your inventory, and you have this organization chart for a building where you need that blueprint. So you can see right there, recover organic waste, link to blueprint. What you can do is click this tag to highlight it. You see the orange outline, and then come up here to this image of this person with a plus sign next to them. It's going to add in things that you have, personnel and blueprints that you need. So it just automatically took that blueprint out of the inventory and put it right there where it belongs, connected to that node. This blue line shows the organizational chart connection and the hierarchy. And this blueprint, now once you see it in the organization chart, also has a node underneath it, and it's saying link to a colonist, so this is going to be a worker, and the ideal is a recycler, and a compatible, i.e. close second, is a farmer. So you're looking for a recycler mainly, but you could use a farmer and not suffer too greatly. So what else did we need? So we need one director for the entire building and one recycler. Let's go see what we can do on that. We'll leave that open again and go to, this is what they call the vital reserve. This is where you acquire employees or settlers or colonists, whatever you want to call them. You have these 4 tags. These are the general category of skill that each person has in their given area of expertise. This is the best. It's called super engineer. The backstory is these were the people that initially built up Project Aura, and then they went into the cryostasis chambers with everyone else and have come back out. And so they have an advantage, and they know all the systems and so forth. Master is kind of straightforward. You know, you're pretty darn good at whatever you do. You usually have a chosen skill there for that. Senior, you're more experienced but not as good as a master, and then of course junior. And you see you have a little green star or light or something next to some of them. Those are the ones where there are actually employees available. So right now all we have is junior grade employees, and we have this list, and we see we have operator, pilot, medic, researcher, recycler, and another recycler. So we got 2 recyclers. We'll go ahead and take one of those for this building. You can click the awake button and then confirm, or you can double click on the person's tag here. So let's confirm that. And now they are up here on this status bar underneath the unemployed colonists label. There's a 1 there. These are your employed colonists. I don't have anybody working yet, so if I were to open that, I would see a form similar to this, and it would show that recycler now is on my platform, getting ready to go to work. And we also needed a director. We don't have anybody that's specifically a director, so I'm going to convert one of these people, the one that I'm least likely to need. I know I'm going to need a pilot pretty quick. I'll need operators. I'll need recyclers. A medic or a researcher I don't really need. I'd say a medic would make a good administrator. Let's grab, select the Velma Kid Tally is her name, and this is her. This is a uniform. I got to pick the colors and stuff, but the pattern is fixed. So you come down here and you click this little square button, and it allows you the option to not select her, but replace her with someone that you choose. So we're looking for a director, so you kind of have to know the hats here, but luckily director's right off the top left here. So you just click that. This is what you have, and this is what you're going to replace her with. Director. I have a medic, this hat. I'm going to replace her with a director with this hat with the strange point on the back of it. And it's going to cost me 100 synthetic coins in addition to the awakening cost. So I want that. I need the director. I click OK and confirm. And you just click that away, and you now have a director down here at the bottom of the list, and the previous person whose occupation I've already forgotten has disappeared. They've gone back into the cryostasis chambers. So click, or let's do it this way. Let's click and drag the director. You can drag them out of the cryogenation chamber area and put them right into an organization chart. In fact, you can put them right linked into the area they belong in. The director I know goes on the residential block. They always do. So just click and drag, confirm, and they're linked in. And then I can send that away. And that's what I have. I do need to assign that recycler, which I have here. Let's do it this way. Actually, I'll show you the shortcut again. You could open this up. I won't do it this way, but there is a recycler right there, which I need. You could select that helmet, and you'll get a list of all the junior grade recyclers that are unemployed. And you could just grab one and drag it in here, and even drag it right on top of the blueprint, and it would link in automatically. I'm going to take the shortcut. I've got one person. I'm going to select recycler so that it's outlined, and I'm going to press this button again like I did before for the blueprint. And that person has been removed from the unemployment roster and is now employed. I have 2 people working, and this is the complete org chart for a residential block, and it does actually function together organic waste. So you would right click the blueprint now, and it'll bring up the controls for that particular function of the blueprint. This gear cog gives you any different production line options that you might have. In this case, there's only the one. We're just going to be recovering organic waste. There might be a list of several to pick from. like when you go out and send your ships out to gather resources from the ocean. There's quite a few options, but in this case we're going to just be recovering the organic waste from this residential building. And we want that to just continue on indefinitely, basically, so we don't even look at any of this. We're just going to press this middle button, and it says, while stopped, will attempt to restart production by itself. So that's kind of a nice one, as it just goes on and on. Just don't mess with any of this. Leave this all, no numbers in there, don't click any of these buttons. And it's ready to go when it highlights blue like that. And eventually here on the next production cycle it might start. Might have to click the start button the first time. Now one thing I want to do is show you how to speed the game up. That's kind of crucial. You can see up here you have what day it is, day 0. This is the cycle. There's 24 cycles in a day, so you know that a cycle is about an hour. And this is the game speed. It says ×1. And the way to adjust that is to hold down the shift key and press the plus or minus key on the number keypad. Plus key will increase it to the next increment. I think it's ×2, ×4, and ×8. And then back down if you're using shift minus. And you can also toggle with the space bar to pause the game and return it back to whatever speed setting it had. So let me set this to speed 2. Alright, we're at speed ×2. I don't know if this thing started or not. Yes. You can tell if one's running. This little on-off indicator button is green if it's working. If it's stopped, it's red. So that's how you tell there. These things are indicators of what's going on inside the process. This particular one is a match for that. If I had this one clicked, I would see it in there. And here's another interesting thing. Most of these blueprints allow you to either produce an item and store it into your inventory down here on the colony, or just sell it directly to the market without even touching it. And the way you get that is this block on the lower left. It's labeled SC, synthetic coins. It'll show you any value that the produced items would have. These are the produced items in this row. This is the required materials in this row. In this case we don't have any value for organic waste, so there's no point in selling it to the market. But if you wanted to sell it, you would click this button and it would highlight, and you see we got a little tag there that shows that that particular line, production line, is selling its output to the market. Now we don't want to do that. We want to collect the organic waste so we can process it in a recycling plant. So that's just a little bit of the controls of working a building. I'm going to take time out and show you what we do to move a building and its staff. I have a completely staffed and operational building here. What if I put it in the wrong spot, or I want to move it to a different platform or something? As it turns out, it's not that hard. Residential buildings are a little bit different because you always have to have a place for your residents to stay. So to move this building and its occupants, I'm going to have to make another temporary building. But in this game, at current status, you are getting all resources back when you remove a building. So let's go ahead and just build another building. They're not that expensive. Another residential block. Collect the materials. It's 1.3K, 1,300 coin. We have all the materials. We will just, this is a temporary building. We're just going to put it here, and it's going to hold the occupants while we move this building. So here's how you do that. To move a building, you first got to go in and eliminate everything in it. way you do that is with personnel, and with blueprints it's the same thing. You highlight it by clicking on it, left clicking, and it shows you the gold outline. And then when it's highlighted, you press the delete key on your keyboard and it'll remove that. So let's see what happens on this junior director. We're going to delete them right now. You get a confirmation. Are you sure you want to delete? Say OK. Personnel are going to go to unemployment. Blueprints will go back to your inventory, and items like ships and radars and things like that will go to inventory as well. So another thing you can do is when you're selecting, if you want to select the blueprint and everything that's underneath of it, you will shift down while you're selecting. There, so we got the blueprint and the person under it, and now you can just hit delete and both of those will go back to their proper holding areas. And so we're back to square one. We have an empty building. It's ready to be demolished, I guess is the term for it. And the way we do that is hold your left mouse button down on the building and you'll get this little rosette thing here. You want the recycle icon. It removes the building and returns all of the materials to your area for construction. So just click yes and the building's gone. And the residents have moved in here temporarily. Now we want to move the building, the original one. And this is the only time we really have to build a second building is for residents. For the others you can just delete the building, move it, rebuild it, and re-add everything. But let's put it back. We'll pretend that we moved it. Actually, I'm just going to put it back in the same spot. As you can see, it has all the materials needed to build it. When I demolished it, it just put them back into storage ready to use. So I'm actually going to put it back in the same spot. It doesn't matter. I'll put it back here. Okay. I could just as well keep this building, but I want to show you the whole process for demolishing a building and then rebuilding it and reinstalling everything. So the proper way to do that now is to eliminate this building. There's nothing in it except the residents are using it. So we hold down the left mouse button and just recycle it. Now we do have some extra mats because we had to build two buildings at the same time, but that's alright. We'll use those up pretty quick. So now to get them back in here, everything, you select this top level item in the organization chart and you just click this. You already have all the personnel and the blueprints that you need. And as you see, we got everything except the recycler. It doesn't chain down through blueprints into personnel underneath them, so we'll have to select the recycler blueprint and do the same thing. Click the button again. Now we have everything, and all we have to do is start the process again by clicking this button here. And it should start recovering waste, and we just moved the building from the front right to the back right. No loss of anything. And the current state of the game, that could change. They might decide to have there be a penalty for materials if you demolish a building. Who knows? But that's the way it works right now. It's pretty straightforward. So we've got a building. The next thing to build is probably the hangar. I mean, I saw an article. I'm playing on hard difficulty, and I saw a guy that wrote up a pretty straightforward engineering type, min-max thing. Well, you got to do this, and then have everybody sit around and wait. And no, you don't build a hangar because it's too expensive. Well, I just could follow the production line. The first thing you need is to collect stuff, so I'm going to build a hangar here. So we pull the construction part up. We are looking at exploration and defense. We have ship factory, alpha hangar, delta hangar, and omega hangar. And the alpha hangar is what we're after. It's the smallest one, but it's good for this kind of scavenging that we're going to be sending them on. So click that. We get another similar window to the one we had for the residential block. We have some of the materials that we need, but not all of them. This is where you could use the Alt tab, and it would buy only what you need to complete the construction. It would not buy additional alpha polymers or whatever those are. So it's only going to cost me 1K, but this will use up everything that went into that second residential block, or probably most everything. So now we're ready to build. So just bring it in here. I usually set these hangers in a back corner, just like that. Okay, that's good. We have a hanger now. We'll close the construction UI out, open it up. Alpha hanger. We need a director. It's almost always the one on the left node here is director. We need another blueprint, an alpha ship missions blueprint. That could be a little confusing because you'll not find anything labeled alpha ship missions. But I'll show you how to do that. Building maintenance. A lot of buildings use building maintenance, so we need that in this case. 2 blueprints, a director, and whatever employees are needed underneath the 2 blueprints. And I'll just leave that open. Go buy the blueprints. That's tech. And that was alpha ship missions. Oh, we need a building maintenance, so I'll just grab that while I'm in here. That one we need, building maintenance. Click purchase before you move to another screen. Where is it? Recover org waste. No, that's not it. I don't think that's it. Resource extraction. It says alpha ship missions, but there's nothing in the market called alpha ship missions, so you have to kind of figure out that you're going to send the ship out and extract resources from the ocean. So we set that up, buy it, make the purchase, close that out. We now have 2 blueprints, and we can just go up here and click this and it'll put the blueprints in place. Oh, didn't select the node. You have to select the node. This is a node, and then press that button. Now the blueprints are in. And we can see that under this pilot blueprint we need a pilot and a ship, and under the technician blueprint we need 2 technicians or 2 artisans, or any combination of technicians and artisans. But we said we needed a ship. Let's go ahead and buy that ship while we're thinking about that. That's probably the most expensive thing you're going to buy. So we go to ship, and there it is, alpha ship, 5,000 synthetic coins. Select just one. Don't get carried away with the selection button, and purchase. And I probably got starving personnel here, so I think I forgot to purchase anything. Yeah, let's go ahead and get them some water and seafood. It's organic. You would do this first, obviously. Now, when you're picking, I'm going to buy 100 of each of these. To do that, I'm not going to just click 100 times on each one. You hold the shift key down and it'll go in increments of 25. And I don't know, there's another key, maybe the control key. If you hold it down, it'll go in increments of 100. I'm not sure about that, so I'll just do the shift. So I'm holding shift down on water portions. I got 25, 50, 75, 100. Seaweed portions, 100. Purchase, they're in inventory now. And what you need to do is anything you're going to feed your colonists, you got to bring into this larder, the bottom 2 rows. And so we'll just drag from inventory and bring over all of that, because we have no other use for it right now except to feed people and keep them hydrated. Then you got 4 menu blocks. You can feed up to 4 meals a day to your colonists. You can get by with 1. The effects are basically shown here under food benefits and daily waste. Daily waste is how much your colonists are going to go down each day without any other conditions being addressed. So right now a colonist will lose 10 hydration, that's this one, 10 nutrition, and 5 morale each and every day if nothing is done. So let's put the bottled water up here and the seaweed portions, and to activate that meal you just click this lower right button, and they're now getting 5 hydration, 5 nutrition, and 2 morale just for being fed that 1 meal. You can at least get rid of the you still have a deficit. You're still losing 5 points of nutrition and hydration. So just feed them a second meal of the same thing on block menu 2. And you will have to activate both of those. They're now going to eat both of these each day. So it's effectively you're having double the population or colonists. And so down here it shows you how many colonists you actually have and how many days of food you've set aside for them based on the meals that are active. You could pull these up and serve them 4 meals of water and seaweed each day, and you would gain health and hydration and nutrition rather. But it won't have any effect on morale if you're just serving water and seaweed. You need some other things to improve morale. So we've got that set up. Now here's another thing you can do. You can fill the larder automatically from your inventory. Just go to the lower left here and set a number that you want to have the larder max out at each day. Say put in 100. That'll work for a while. You'll have to adjust this every once in a while as the colony grows in size. And then to have the larder automatically pull that in, you click this button so that it glows. And now each day the game, or your larder crew if you want to look at it that way, is going to try to bring your levels in the larder up to 100. So you always have enough for your colonist, assuming you didn't get lazy and stop paying attention to this. You will have to increase this number from time to time. Also, whatever number's in there, if you click the word refill here, it will automatically refill to that level, if possible. We didn't have any spare water or seaweed, so it couldn't do anything. It's alright. We've got enough to last for over 20 days with 2 employees. But that's not going to last for long. So let's see what we got going on here. Director, pilot, 2 technicians, and we have nobody unemployed, so we're going to have to bring them all in. Always try to get master stuff if you can. Oh, we got 2 master directors. That's so tempting to buy both of them. It's 1,000 coins. Might just buy both of them. Here's another thing. This little arrow here means they're going to go away real soon, so better buy them. I'm going to buy the directors don't come along, especially master level directors, that often, and they are worth it. We have a master level versatile. I would take them as a last resort. We need a pilot and 2 technicians. Operator, pilot. And we don't have any technicians. We'll take the pilot. We're going to have to make 2 technicians. Again, the ones you can keep, use, Actually, I'm not buying ahead at any point now, so it doesn't matter what I take. I'm going to take this one, turn him into a technician. Technician, right there. Versatile replaced by technician, 100 synthetic coins just to do that. And then you gotta wake him up or bring him in. Technician, put him over here on the blueprint, connect him. Let's make this guy a technician. Okay, researcher replaced by technician, 100 synthetic coins. Close it. There's the technician, bring him in and connect him, or her, whatever. So there, you now have your two technicians. You need the pilot, but you already have them on the unemployment roll. And you have the jet right there, the alpha ship, whatever you want to call it. So we just use the button, select the pilot blueprint, and click this button up here, the person with the plus sign, and it automatically fills everything out. And then to get the director in, you select that and press that button again, and you have your director. So all you need to do is activate everything. Again, technician, you want to run pretty much indefinitely. I mean, it does cost money, so if you're not doing anything, you should shut them down. But otherwise, you need to continue to run them. Organic extraction, yeah, we're going to pretty much continue to do this indefinitely as well. So the technicians are at work now, they're green. This one's still red. It'll take them, they go till the beginning of the next work cycle before they start up. So let's see what we got. Should go right there. The button lit up. Oh, I don't know if it lit up or not. There we go. So they're both working. We're extracting resources now, and you can actually see the little animation of the ship flying out and landing and so forth. And when it comes in and lands, it drops off whatever it has. You'll see it go into inventory if it isn't grabbed up immediately by another building.